Hey y'all, it's Hannah Bell and you're Hanging with Hannah, where you and me get to hang out for a bit and have some real talk. So go ahead and get comfy, head on out to your porch, grab your dog, drink, snacks, whatever. Let's get to it.
You only have one life to live, so make it count while you can. Just be who you wanna be, smile and just be happy. You're gonna have some ups and downs that you'll make through, and then you'll see how it could be on a day like
Growing up ain't easy. I mean, come on, am I right? I used to dream about being a grown-up, couldn't wait to grow up. But the truth is, it's hard. So let's talk about some of the brutal truths of growing up today on Hangin' with Hannah.
on a day like this.
All right. Do a little Matthew McConaughey because today is episode 8 of Hangin' with Hannah. Again, I just want to say thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I am so enjoying the podcasting life. I mean, I am busy, let me tell you what. So adding a podcast to my plate wasn't the easiest thing to do because now I'm scheduling when am I going to do my episodes, all that kind of stuff. And then I added another task of filming them so that you can now watch them on YouTube. So now I have to edit all that kind of stuff. So it's not easy. So if you are here with me for episode 8, then I sincerely thank you. Thank you so much for listening to Hanging with Hannah. I am so enjoying getting to hang out with you. And just like I said a minute ago, you can watch these now on YouTube. All you got to do is go to my YouTube channel and you will find, starting like 2 or 3 episodes ago, that I started filming them so that you can watch them on YouTube as well. So thanks so much for hanging out with me. Today we're talking about growing up. I've kind of been on this like throwback of reliving my childhood, and it's all to do with my song that is coming out beginning of August called Little Girl. I've just been going down memory lane, going back, remembering growing up, thinking about all the wonderful times I had as a child, and thinking about how when I was a child, I was always thinking about growing up, right? I mean, I know I'm not the only person that has done that. You're a little girl, little boy, whatever, and you're like, oh, I can't wait to grow up. Yeah, well, I'm here now. I'm grown up. And I would like to go back to being a little girl. So if I could trade that wish in with a genie somewhere, maybe that'll work out for me. But, you always want to grow up. But then you get there and being an adult and being a grown-up isn't as glamorous as you thought it would be. Now, don't get me wrong. I love being a grown-up. Can't even speak, can't even say the word. So am I really a grown-up? Who knows? I love to be able to choose what I want to eat when I want to eat it. I love to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it without anyone telling me what to do. But I don't love all the responsibility that comes with being a grown-up sometimes. So today I want to talk about the 7 brutal truths of growing up. Now, let me just say, I did not come up with these. I actually found this at Lifehack on Pinterest. It's something that I follow. And so this is not my original material for this, but it resonated so much with me that I wanted to share it and kind of expand on it with my ideas a little bit. So 7 truths, 7 brutal, what a word, brutal truths about growing up. Let's dig into some of those today. So the very first one, no one has the answer. You're going to spend a lot of time figuring things out. Amen, amen, amen. Nobody has the answer to anything. It's always like, well, I mean, you could try this, you could try that, you could try this, but in the end, you're always going to have to figure it out by yourself. Let me just talk about being a grown-up for a second. Just recently, I had to go through finding homeowners insurance, and when you buy a house and all, they kind of do that stuff for you. I just had to basically sit down and say, Hannah, you're kind of dumb. You don't know anything about this. And you're a grown-up and you're supposed to be able to know this kind of stuff. But I didn't. And when I'm thinking about, should I do this? Should I do that? Nobody could really help me. Well, maybe you should do this. Maybe you should do that. I'm like, is there a class on homeowners insurance? Because I obviously need to take it. It's one of those things that I needed in high school and college. But when you're going through life as a grown-up, no one has the answer for you. It's kind of a figure it out as you go along thing. And it's not easy. It's not easy. So that's the first brutal truth. No one has the answer. Second brutal truth is it's harder to be kind than clever. Now, this one for me, it resonated because sometimes we don't always want to be kind. We want to come up with the first smart aleck answer we can when people are, not being the smartest. We want to be like, seriously, did you really say that? And with all the things going on in the world today and everyone's differing opinions that we have on all of the things going on, it's really hard to be kind. We want to hit them with a smart response real quick or hit them with our opinion real quick, no matter what, because looking out for number one. But we are taught to be kind. We are taught to love. And sometimes as a grown-up, that's a hard thing to do, to be kind to others, especially in a world as different as we all are today. Number 3, another brutal truth about growing up is time becomes more precious to you. You can never find time. You have to make it. And gosh, if that's not the truest statement I've ever had. I don't live near my family. I live about 2.5 hours away, which for some of you who are listening to this podcast, you're probably like, that's it? I live across the country from my family. I get it. 2.5 hours doesn't seem like a lot. But my husband and I are both very close to all parts of our family. And when we go home for the weekends, you only have like Friday night, Saturday, Sunday morning / going home on Sunday afternoon. And so it is so hard to find the time or make the time to see everybody. And I'm just going to poke fun at my mom for a second, but she's pretty, she's like a mother hen with wanting everybody under her little babies, under her little feathers there, her wings. And she wants me home, but I'm like, Mom, I got to see everybody else too. And I promise you, the time when I'm at home is very precious to me because I have to see my 92-year-old grandmother. I got to make that time, make that an important time for me because she's not going to be around forever. Hunter's grandpa who turns 90, I've got to see him. I've got to see my nieces and nephews. They're growing up so fast and time just passes quickly. And you're like, wait, when did you grow a foot? Like, come on. So time is precious, and it's one of those things that it's not just going to be available to you as a grown-up. You're going to have to make it. And so find a little time in that schedule to squeeze in what's important to you, whether that's visiting your family, whether that's self-care, exercise, whether that's being creative. You're not going to find time. You're going to have to make time for those important things. So I'm telling that to myself as well because I am definitely the one who has to figure out how to work that in with a music career, a career in education, a podcast, all the things that go along with what I do. Making time for those things that are important it's tough, and you got to be able to do that a little bit better. Number 4, people are curious about what you do. Everybody's going to ask, oh, so what do you do? But that doesn't mean that they really care. So don't let other people's opinions guide your life. Hey, we're humans. We're curious about things. We want to know, what do you do? What do you do for fun? What do you do for a living? What's your life like? But does that mean I really care about that? Yeah, if you're a friend and you have relationships and all that kind of stuff, sure you care. If you're a caring person, yeah. But just because I'm asking you what you do and I have opinions about what you do doesn't mean that my opinions should guide your thoughts on your life and what you're doing with your life. It's cool to share. It's cool to be curious. It's cool to get to know people. Yes, we should 100% do that. I am all on board with that. But just because you're getting to know someone and they're getting to know you doesn't mean they're the ones that guide your life. Your life is yours. It was given to you by the good Lord above. You're the one that gets to make the decisions about what you do, how you do it, and ultimately the happiness that it brings you. So yeah, share with others, get to know people, but don't let their opinions guide you. I feel like I'm talking fast. I need to slow it down, huh? My husband says, Hannah, do you realize how fast you talk? I don't. I need to reel it back, slow it down. We're on number 5 of the 7 brutal truths about growing up. And number 5 is you will face rejection often. Knife to the heart. Ugh, no one likes to be rejected. I'm a people pleaser. I hate being rejected. Someone tells me no or doesn't invite me to something. It breaks my little heart. It really does, into a million pieces. But just because you face rejection, that doesn't mean that you're not good. It means that maybe you weren't a right fit. Maybe that one wasn't the right place for you. Maybe it wasn't God's timing on this particular thing. And that's hard to hear because rejection hurts. It hurts bad. But as an adult, you face rejection a lot. Heck, as a kid, you face rejection a lot. I think we actually take it a lot harder as an adult than we did as children. But it's one of those things that it hurts. But don't let that take you down, because just because you get rejected doesn't mean you're not good. You're not good at what you do. You're not good at who you are, what job you're doing, whatever it is, it doesn't mean that you're not good. It just means that maybe it wasn't the right place or the right time for you in that position. So that was number 5 of the 7 brutal truths of growing up. Again, not my own material here. This was something that I read and I thought it would be great to share, kind of expand on a little bit. Number 6 is, I'm going to read this one because it's kind of long. Life is not a linear line, but a pile of tangled threads. You may feel confused from time to time, but that's okay. Have you ever heard the saying, oh, the tangled web we weave? I say that all the time because, life isn't like this. It's not a straight line. It's not just this easy, straight and narrow way. It is a curve here and a going downhill here and going uphill there and turning this way, turning that way, intermingling with someone else. It is so many different little threads that are all pieced together to make up this beautiful thing called life. And sometimes that gets confusing because you're all over the place. But that's what makes it beautiful. It's okay to feel confused. It's okay to not know exactly what your next step is. I recently did an Enneagram quiz to figure out what Enneagram I am. I'm a 3, which is very accurate. I went and did all the research about the 3s, very accurate. And one of the things is, as a 3, you're always looking towards the future, planning ahead, thinking about what comes next, what's the next goal you can set for yourself and achieve. And hearing this, life is not linear, it's a bunch of threads. I'm like, no. I can make all those little steps myself. I can plan ahead and follow those steps. You remember back to episode, I don't even know, number 2, checking off the boxes, I think is what it was, when we make lists and we check them off. We set goals and we check them off. Yeah, that's me. I am a lister. I'm a goal maker. And hearing that life is just a bunch of threads tangled together, like it's confusing sometimes. That's hard for me to hear because, I like a plan. But that's what makes it beautiful. You never know what's coming next. It might be something hard. It might be something confusing. It might be something wonderful. But that's what life is. It's a box of chocolates, like Forrest Gump said. Never know what you're going to get. Except for these days, there's a map on the inside of a chocolate lid so you know exactly what you're eating. That really messed that saying up for me. The last brutal truth, 7 brutal truths of growing up. Everything will change. The earlier you master the art of letting go, the easier life is to you. Everything's not going to stay the same. Things change from day to day. We can hold on to the past. We can hold on to what we thought things were going to be. We can hold on to it all. And what's that going to do for us? Bring us pain, bring us suffering, have us always reliving the past, like I've been doing with my childhood memories. It's okay to relive the past. It's okay to go down memory lane, but it's not okay to hold on to it and not move forward. Things change, and change can be good. It can be for the better. It can be hard. But if we allow change to happen, if we grow through the change, if the change is something that is healthy for us, then we have to let go of what the past was. And if we can kind of get that mindset, the easier this life is going to be for us. Now, I didn't say it was going to be easy, because nothing's going to be easy. Life ain't easy, period. Okay? Life ain't easy. It's a wild, wild ride. And you know what? I'm sitting here saying, I wish I could go back to being a little girl. And some days I do, because I had an awesome childhood, awesome parents, awesome siblings where I grew up back in Red Lick, Mississippi. Oh man, it was just a wonderful way to grow up. And it made me who I am today. But you know what? I don't take this moment of life for granted either. I'm not going to live in the past and say, oh, I wish I could just still be there, which some days I do. But those are the moments that made me who I am. Those are the things that made my life what it is today. And I'm looking at that and saying, hey, you know what? I grew from those things. And as I'm talking about these 7 brutal truths of growing up, yeah, they're hard to hear. And yeah, they are brutal. But if we know that these things are going to happen in our life, if we kind of prepare ourselves for these and keep a positive mindset, we can navigate life a little bit easier. So yeah, 7 truths of growing up, 7 brutal truths about growing up. But you know what? It's all right. It's hard. Adulting ain't easy, but it's part of life. So go out there, live your best life, make the best of all the situations that you're in, smile, be happy, and you're going to make it. I promise you that. You've been listening to Hangin' with Hannah with yours truly, Hannah Bell. Thanks so much for hanging out and having some real talk with me. Remember to follow me on Facebook at Hannah Bell Music and Instagram at Hannah Bell 322. You can also find out more about me and what I do at my website, hannah-bell.com. I can't wait to connect with you. And now watch each Hangin' with Hannah episode on YouTube. Tune in next time where I'm going to tell you why starting or joining a book club can be so good for your soul. See you then on Hangin' with Hannah.